Welcome everyone to tonight's talk, mid-July 2021. Welcome to the wide welcome of Mountain Cloud, this community of practice, of mutual support and of love. Love expressed in so many ways, and love beyond expression, all springing from the Dharma. The Dharma is the teaching, the rich inheritance of this practice, and the great body of tradition, a wellspring of masters named and unnamed, of sutras, koans, commentaries, writings, the wellspring of all time, all coming up right now. The Dharma is also the reality of this world, things as they are, the fact of who you truly are. To awaken to that reality, that fact, is sometimes called seeing your original face. What is that face? Some years ago, I was in Japan for an extended period of practice with two beloved sibling teachers. It was a time when the Roshi was able to sit with us every day in the early morning and in the evening, a great privilege. The night before leaving, the last kinhin, walking meditation, the last before our final sit, I was walking behind the Roshi at some distance out of respect and because there was plenty of space in the Zendo. My gaze, slightly lowered, happened to fall on his ankles. Delicate, bare, translucent, extending just below the hem of his robe. The simple perfection was riveting. Gazing at his ankles, a penetrating gaze. What is that? What is that? The clapper sounded, we bowed, turned, and as soon as I sat facing the wall, the words came. Love without substance. Last week, I ended the Thursday night talk with a quote from Ikkyu about love and the empty, infinite, intimate reality of our own true face. Ikkyu puts a spin on it and on the sudden recognition. He wrote, "Your original face cuts a fancy figure. One look and it's love at first sight." As I mentioned last time, Yamada Konroshi comments, just once, wouldn't you like to fall in love like this? When I started assembling notes for tonight's talk. At the top of the page fell the words, falling, ... in love. That's what this is. Right now, we are falling. Here in our Zendo without walls, there in your seat before the screen, no ground, nothing fixed, nothing to hang on to. Our every moment is falling. Even our still sitting is falling. So free, so dynamic, unencumbered, unconstrained. This can seem fearful. I hear a lot about fear or disorienting. But really, it could not be more safe. What we fall into is love. In fact, the falling itself is nothing but love. To use Henry's phrase, original love. So tonight, as a way of exploring this fallen away world, I'd like to pick up on a theme from last week's talk. Doesn't matter if you heard it or not. And then continue the story of Tozan as he leaves on a final pilgrimage and in one unsuspecting moment, suddenly sees his original face. The theme is a phrase from Ungone's teaching. This phrase, preaching, facing, oneness. Last time we looked at this phrase as a sort of prelude to Tozan's discovery that inanimate things are preaching the Dharma. Tozan saw it for himself. The wall tiles are preaching. There's a saying in Zen, everything is preaching at the top of its lungs. So still, so silent, and yet preaching at the top of its lungs, each and everything. What does that mean? Preaching. Wherever you turn, whatever I pick up, a speck of dust, a pillow, a pen, one complete preaching. Just this. The entirety of the Dharma. And what is the message? How is it conveyed? The message is what this is. It's gone and it's one. One emptiness. Ryoan Roshi has said that every koan is a message from the oneness world. Suzuki Roshi is quoted as saying, although we have no actual written communications from the world of emptiness, we have some hints or suggestions about what is going on in that world. And that is, you might say, awakening. He goes on, when you see plum blossoms or hear the sound of a small stone hitting bamboo, some of you may know those beautiful examples. Suzuki Roshi says, that is a letter from the world of emptiness. Here is the message. Here is the letter. This alone, swallowing everything, nothing outside it. Really, sun, moon, stars. How is that possible? This heat, this shining, the great empty dynamism, falling, and at the same time, complete, whole, infinite capacity. Preaching, facing oneness. What happens when you face this oneness? Face just one thing. You disappear. And then what? Here is your face. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Henry and I have beauty in mind. This is such beauty. This one luminous transparency coming up, already gone. Perfectly cutting and perfectly cut out. It's you. Unique and unrepeatable, and without saying a word, preaching, exuding the Dharma. The Dharma is exuding you. Tozon had a deep taste of this when he heard the wall tile, saw its sound. But something for him remained unresolved. After all his study, all his practice, he resolves to leave his teacher, Ungone, for what will be the last time. To depart everything and find his way. As he leaves, Ungone calls out that famous instruction. If you want to attain this great matter, go straight to it and be utmost precise. Perfectly fitting. Nothing extra. Facing oneness. facing it. The keys on this computer are lit. There's this silver face. There's this black cushion. There's a beautiful Chinese garden seat right here. It. Ungone's key teaching the whole of his life was just this. Just this. Tozon heads out on his way, crossing a stream. He sees his reflection in the water, and everything falls away. He is awakened deeply, fully. Here's his verse. Avoid seeking elsewhere, for that's far from the self. That was actually in the blurb Henry read. Avoid seeking elsewhere, for that's far from the self. Now I travel alone everywhere I meet it. This is Tozan. Now it's exactly me. Now I'm not it. It must thus be understood to merge with thusness. Things as they are. You, exactly as you are. It now is me. Everywhere I turn, my true face, my whole body. Now I'm not it. I am not whatever I thought I was. Dissolved, gone, empty, free, and freely offered. So freely offered. Tozon is thought to be the author of a long poem, often chanted in zendos. I can't now remember if it's in Mountain Cloud's chant book. Probably this Song of the Precious Mirror Samadhi, or Song of the Jewel Mirror Samadhi. The song resonates with Tozan's awakening verse and with Ungone's teaching. Just this. In the poem, that justice is called thusness. You, this, the fact of who you are. The song is long, but it begins, the Dharma of thusness is intimately conveyed by Buddhas and ancestors. Now you have it. Keep it well. It, this thusness, is intimately conveyed, preached, you could say, by each and everything. Take care, maintain it. Actually, you don't have it. You are it. It is maintaining you. And here's another short passage It is a standard for all things. Its use removes all suffering. You can't raise an arm without using it. You can't take a breath. Tozan writes, although it is not constructed, it is not beyond words. Not constructed. And actually, words are it. We think in this practice, we have to be careful, that words, Zen is beyond words and letters, so just avoid talking. Once you come into this, just come home to this, right here. Words are it. And one more little couplet. Like facing a precious mirror, form and reflection behold each other. This book, this is my eye. It's looking at you. Tozan writes, you are not it, but in truth, it is you. In truth, it is you. Not long ago, Ruben Javito gave a short talk after an evening of sitting at MKZC, Maria Kanan Zen Center. There was a lot going on and he was tired. So at the end of his comments, he asked someone to summarize what he had said. A woman in our small group who was listening intently unmuted and said, I am. Ruben said, yes, then take away the I. Just am. Just this. Some years ago, Shosan Vicky Austin, a Soto priest and Dharma heir to Suzuki Roshi, came to MKZC to lead a precept ceremony. And afterwards, she offered a Q&A, wonderful opportunity. One student asked, since students in your tradition, Soto tradition, are not working with koans, what do you do when you meet in Doksan? Vicky said, I ask, why are you not facing me? Working with students is a great joy. How often it feels like just being a mirror. Why are you not facing me? When you clearly face me, what are you facing? If you want to attain this great matter, go straight to it and be utmost precise. Later, hearing this teaching, another master said, a child then knew a parent's compassion. Straight to it, utmost precise. Facing oneness, facing things as they are, face to face with emptiness and compassion, inexhaustible compassion. One facing. I'd like to close with a teaching from Yamada Konroshi on practicing with Mu. Konroshi said, if with our sights set on realization, we attempt in our practice of Mu to chase after Mu as if to catch it, Mu will elude us constantly. Why? Because the one who is attempting to grasp Mu is Mu itself. It's like your own shadow, he said. As long as you run after it, it will always elude you. But stand quite still, and your shadow is right at your feet. Your shadow, or maybe your reflection, clear, transparent, falling. And from the beginning, fallen away. That's what this is. See it just once and fall in love. Thank you.